Hey everyone, tough weekend here in San Francisco. The last 2 days didn't go the way we drew it up in our heads on Thursday and Friday. We had some great practice racing on Friday and some great warm-up laps on Saturday and Sunday, but unfortunately too many unforced errors when it counted, and that led to some really poor results, some results that we're really unhappy with and certainly not satisfied. We see your comments, we feel your pain. We're working really hard to correct this, and it's going to take time. We are making progress, even though it doesn't feel like it some days. Certainly tonight, I know the whole team is gutted, but yeah, at the end of the day, we got to face the music, whether we're doing well or doing poorly. So we'll dive into the data we already have this afternoon and this evening. We'll go over all the video feeds and all the data feeds from all the teams, figure out how we can improve. I guess one of the highlights of the day is luckily no one was injured on the Australian team after their wing collapsed. That happened right behind us. I heard their wing snap and turned around and saw it, and it was absolutely devastating to see. Thinking of our competitors over there while we had to go race for the next 15 minutes, but it was great to hear over the radio that everybody was okay. So hopefully they'll have a speedy fix on their boat, and we'll be back in Rio because they've dominated this fleet for a long time, and they deserve to be on the race course. So it's time to get into your questions. This is the Buckley Debrief. Yeah, the key learnings are when everybody on our team is doing their jobs to their ability, that we can compete. The other side of that is, when one person isn't, we can't hit the tough maneuvers, right? And so right now, I think we're in a competition with the thing between our ears, our brains, and being able to do things confidently when it counts and not really having to think about it. And when the pressure turns up, we've seen that unfortunately we haven't been able to hit those tough maneuvers in the training. When there's very little pressure, we're nailing maneuvers. So we've got to bring that same mentality over to the racing when it counts. Because at the end of the day on Sunday, all we care about and all you care about is the results on the screen. Yeah, I mean, San Francisco is, notoriously a high-speed racetrack. This time of year, the breeze is a little bit more unstable in the summer. The desert hasn't really heated up to bring in the true sea breeze out from the Golden Gate Bridge. So we saw, some pretty big holes in the breeze, and if you were in them, you were going quite a bit slower, and if you were in the puffs, you were absolutely flying. There was a lot of current. We saw some teams not make marks and things like that, which, a lot of the venues that we race at, don't have nearly the amount of current that there is here in San Francisco. But it's a pretty straightforward racetrack, but definitely a little more complicated with the wind not quite mixed in like it normally does when we're here in the summer. There's nothing like seeing the fans waving American flags, right? That's a really special thing. We have an American flag at the top of our wing, and we represent this country, and so we certainly don't take lightly that we're not doing the best job right now, and we need to change that, because that's what we're the most proud of is trying to change American sailing and put it back at the top, and we won't stop until we do. But to be able to chat with fans and see their passion and see them waving and yelling, even when we weren't, kind of doing that well was absolutely awesome. One of the hardest things with SailGP is there's very little time in between races and at races to use an F50 and practice, right? The boats will leave here in a couple days and they'll be on a ship for the next month on their way to Rio to our next race. So there's no time, tomorrow or the next day to go back out there and practice the things that, we want to practice. So we're going to rely, heavily on the data and heavily on the video feeds from all the teams. We have a no stone unturned mentality, and we'll certainly be looking to improve in all areas of our team and in our business, and that will never change no matter where we are on the grid. But right now, obviously, we need to improve, right? None of us are satisfied, and we won't stop until we are. Yeah, the goal is always progress with a new team, right? And it's not results. The goal is simply to improve. And when you keep improving and keep improving, all of a sudden, the results will come on their own. We felt like we improved in certain areas this weekend, but we also, maybe took a couple steps back in certain areas, right? And we saw the improvement, we saw the progress in practice, so we know it's there. And I think that's what makes this the most frustrating, is we know we can nail tacks and jibes in all areas of the race course, but unfortunately, three or four times on Saturday and 2 times on Sunday today, we didn't, and that's what we'll look to improve on between now and Rio. Yeah, so the last start, we were setting up with about 10 seconds to go. The Italians were just stacked up above us. The Australians were coming in fast. We kind of felt them over our backs and heard a loud bang. I turned around and saw their wing literally collapse. Obviously we have a job to do, and I have a job to do, to be in our boat during our race. But my heart sank for, a few seconds there, because we all know the dangers that exist when we race these boats, and to see the wing collapse on top of, 6 of our competitors was, it was a scary moment. We were, very happy to hear over the radio that there were no injuries on board. Obviously gutted for them. I think they were probably on their way to the final, so they're probably, pretty devastated as well. But I'm sure they're also thinking about how lucky they are that nobody was hurt, and that's really all that matters. We all know the dangers that exist when we leave the dock, but we don't like to think about them when we're out there. So yeah, hopefully they'll be able to get their wing back, in one piece for Rio, because again, they're one of the best teams, and we want to race against the best teams. Yeah, we got a call over the radio from our coach's booth, I think a few minutes into the race. So, it was on my mind for the first half of the reach, and then all of a sudden, I got to start doing my job and looking for traffic and helping us get around Mark 1. So, but yeah, there was a few seconds there where I wasn't sure if maybe they would call off the race, kind of red flag the race, given that so many safety assets were on their way to help the Australian team. But yeah, your heart sinks for them, and you're just kind of hoping that everything's going to be all right. And luckily, today the luck was on their side from a safety point of view. Winning in this league is not easy. Winning in sport is not easy. It's going to take some time till our team is at the level that we feel like we confidently should be winning. Right now, in certain conditions, we're very competitive, right? We've shown that. We started the season out and with a podium when it was kind of lighter winds, either H1 or kind of light air foiling with 4 up. And we haven't gotten there in the big breeze, right? So yeah, it's going to take some time. I think when we acquired the team, I think in my introductory press conference, I said it's going to take us 3 full seasons to be able to regularly compete for a championship. And that's, I think, all you can really hope for, right, is being in a position to be able to compete for a championship. There's just no guarantees, especially with the level of athletes that are in this league, right? The teams at the top are just fantastic, some of the best sailors of all time. So we got a mountain to climb, but we are climbing it as fast as we possibly can, and we won't stop working until we climb it. Thanks for watching the Buckley Debrief. Don't forget to submit your questions after our next race.